Hi everyone, so this is the second video that you'll need to watch. This is about the class time and my office hours. So as you know, of course, this is an online class, right? So we've got no actual classroom to go through. The campus is closed. This class is also asynchronous. I sent you an email explaining that, but I just want to review that again. What that means is that there is no specific time that you have to log on to this class. All of my interaction with you will be through either recordings such as this, or I'll respond to your writings. I'll put comments on things and send those back to you. So there's not a specific time where we'll all get together for, a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting or anything like that. There still will be specific due dates. There are times when assignments need to be completed by, but there's not a time when all of us need to come together. So if you like to work on your course on your classwork at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can do that. If you like to work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's perfectly fine. So I just want to emphasize that there's no specific time when you have to log in. You should log in often and complete your work on your own, but there's not a specific time when we all come together. I also want to point out my office phone here. So this phone number, 718-731 5679. This rings on campus at QCC, but then it transfers to my cell phone. So that means you still have a way of getting in contact with me. You can also leave a voicemail message there. So you've got my phone number, you've got my email, mamartinez@qcc.cuny.edu. I want you to be aware of the fact that most professors, their email address is the first letter of their first name and then their last name, but mine is the first two letters of my first name. So sometimes students will email M. Martinez and it goes to the wrong person. You must email M.A. Martinez to make sure that it gets to me. So you can just copy and paste this. And so those are important things. Those are ways to get in touch with me. I really, really want you to keep in touch with me. I want students to keep in touch with me when we have an in-person class. I stress this a lot then, but it is particularly important here. It's very easy in an online class to feel like you're just over by yourself working on these assignments and doing all this stuff on your own, not getting any help. But I want to make sure that you feel that you can contact me whenever you have any kinds of questions. Oftentimes students, when they email me, will say, "I'm sorry to bother you," and things like that. Don't feel sorry about that at all. It is my job to keep in contact with you. I want to keep in contact with you. It's especially important in a writing class. This can be important in any class, but a writing class is particularly important. If you were to have a math class, let's say you've got a math class online, you may not necessarily need to be in touch with the professor as much. I think that you should be in touch with the professor, but you may not need it as much because everybody is going to be solving the math problem in exactly the same way, pretty much, usually. And so if you go through in class, you see how it's supposed to be done, and you can just see whether you're following along with what everybody else is doing. However, here in a writing class, I'm going to be talking about general ways in which we go about constructing our essays. And I've got general principles that you need to think about, but then each of you are going to have very different essays that you're actually writing. If your essays are the same, that's a problem. That means you're plagiarizing. So your essays are going to be very different. And so you may have questions about how does this fit with my specific essay. You said some general things about how these things are supposed to be structured, but I don't know how that works with what I'm doing here. You never give an example about specifically mine. That's a good question. And so again, I want to be talking to all of you about your assignment. So if you have any question about anything that you're doing here at any stage of the process, please, please, please do not hesitate to either call or email me. I have office hours here, as I say, Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. and by appointment. So what that means is that between 12 and 1 p.m., as I say down here, during those scheduled office hours, I will return phone calls and emails immediately. So if you call me between 10 and 1, I will be sitting here at this desk, and the phone will ring, my cell phone will ring, and I will pick it up and talk to you about whatever you need to talk about. If you email me during those times, I will get back to you as soon as possible. If I'm on the phone with somebody, I may not be able to get back right away, but I'll get back pretty soon. And so those are the times when you can always get in touch with me. And if we've got an in-person class, if we were, if we were all on campus, that would be a time you could just drop by and say, "Hey, I got a question about this." You don't need to make an appointment. You don't need to do anything, and so you can come by and do that. So those are the times where I'll just be sitting between 12 and 1, Monday through Thursday. I'll just be sitting at this desk waiting for somebody to call or email so that I can give them some, help them out. You can also set up an appointment. If between 12 and 1 does not work for you, right, you work between then, you're never available then, shoot me an email and say, "Hey, between 12 and 1 does not work for me. When can we talk?" And we can set up a time. I have plenty of time available, right? I don't have to go anywhere. And so I can set up any time to be able to talk to you. So again, don't let problems keep going on without getting in touch with me. Make sure that as soon as you see any kind of a problem, you get in touch with me. I may at some time put a comment on some of your writings that says, "Please contact me for a phone conference." If I do that, make sure to contact me. It does not mean that you're in trouble. It simply means that whatever I want to talk about is hard to do, through email or something like that. It's much easier for us to talk on the phone. So again, it's really important that you keep in touch. Again, especially for an online class. This is not just kind of some completely independent study where you just watch some videos and do a couple things. I am here to be able to guide you through this, and so we need to be able to keep in touch. So make sure that you're aware of all of that. So that's about asynchronous classes and office hours. You now have some questions that you need to respond to.